Good morning. This is Erin Kline with Alerus, and I am so excited to introduce you to Jessica Vaysber. She is a real estate agent with the Desrochers Group here in Minneapolis. She has worked in different capacities in the real estate industry over the last 10 years and has a lot of experience buying and renovating homes. She's also a small business owner, so she brings a lot of unique characteristics and knowledge to the home buying process. Jessica, thank you so much for taking time to talk to me today.
Hi, Erin. Yeah, happy to be here. Good morning. Thanks for chatting with me.
Yeah. The spring market has heated up already here in the Twin Cities, although you wouldn't know that from the snow we just got. Um, but that means we've got lots of buyers out looking for houses. And something you and I were talking about last week, we thought would be a really good topic to educate people about is home renovation or buying houses that need a little bit of work. Are you seeing that being an issue in this market right now?
Yeah, that's really prevalent right now. The combination of limited inventory, there's a lot more buyers than there are sellers right now. And then also first-time home buyers who are, kind of maxed out with what they can afford. So a lot of times those houses that need some work are really what's in their budget. It's really prevalent in today's industry.
Yeah, well, and I think exactly what you said too with really low inventory is allowing sellers where in the past, if we'd had a lot of inventory, if it was more of a buyer's market, they were working really hard to get all of this work done on their house before they put it on the market. Now they're putting the house on the market and really not doing a lot of things. So that's all falling to the buyer. Is that what you're seeing too?
Yeah, it's definitely happening. Yeah, just with the inventory, it's the biggest thing in today's market.
Mhm. What kinds of things are you seeing, as you're looking at houses with buyers that either need to be or that they want to improve or update once they buy the house?
Yeah, definitely a lot of cosmetic stuff is really what we're seeing. And that's totally fine. I mean, a lot of that's not that hard to do. You just need to kind of have a creative imagination with what you're going to do with the house. With first-time home buyers, some of those bigger things that aren't as cosmetic are things that I'd be a little bit more weary of.
Tell me what, in your mind, is a big project versus a small project.
A bigger project, I would say, is something that kind of directly goes to the bones of the house, talking about load-bearing walls, HVAC, electric, plumbing, foundation. Those are all a lot bigger versus smaller projects are definitely those cosmetic updates. You could do cabinets in the kitchen, you can replace flooring, painting, things like that.
Well, and through your experience buying and renovating homes, you're
Mhm.
actually able to give some good guidance to your clients about what things are worth doing or how they might want to handle something, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And you're definitely going to want to think about, future selling too. If this is your starter home and you don't intend on staying there forever, when you're making these updates, you're going to want to think about how is this going to play into the value of the home in the future.
Yeah, very good point. Because I think a lot of times people get starry-eyed and excited about doing projects for their house and they don't even give a thought to how much money they're putting into it versus what they might get back.
Exactly.
Yeah. When we're talking about big projects, like on our side, from a lending perspective, when you mention those really big projects that need addressing, those are sometimes things that fall into the category of a renovation loan. Versus if we're looking at smaller things, cosmetic things for clients, we might have a client who's able to make a 10% or 5% down payment. But when we know that they want to reserve some money to do improvements, they're usually better off just scaling back that down payment a little bit to leave them with some more cash so that they can tackle those things after closing without having to get a special kind of loan to finance
Exactly. Yeah, that's very true. I mean, I think a lot of first-time home buyers would be surprised to know how far five, $10,000 can get you just with, really sprucing things up and making it a lot more livable.
it. Yeah, and helps you build instant equity too.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what would advice would you have for people who want to get out and either whether they've owned a home before or not, if they're first time home buyer looking for a house that may need some work, or if they've owned a home before and they just want to target looking for homes that they can build some equity in by making improvements, what advice would you have for that?
I think my biggest piece of advice would just be don't be afraid. Kind of go into it with an open mind. Just make sure you fully understand what you're getting into in the same time. But home renovations can be fun. They can, put your own spin on your house. Just make sure that you're working with a realtor that really understands what goes into renovations so that they can explain to you, what you're going to have to do, the cost you're going to have to expect, and all that.
Yeah, excellent advice. If people want to get a hold of you because they'd like to talk to you about buying a house, how do they reach you?
The best way to get a hold of me is to either call or text 763-516-2004.
Awesome. Thank you so much for chatting with us today. I think so many people are going to find this helpful.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Erin. It was nice chatting.